He outran prison trains, escaped Siberian exile, built an army from dust, and helped forge a revolution that changed the world. But in the end, it wasn't bullets on the battlefield that brought him down. It was a single, silent assassin with an ice axe. This is not just the story of a murder. It is the chilling tale of how one man's vision threatened an empire, and how that empire hunted him across the earth to silence him forever. Leon Trotsky wasn't just a revolutionary. He was the soul of the Russian Revolution. As one of the architects of the Bolshevik uprising in 1917 and founder of the Red Army, Trotsky was both admired and feared. He dreamed of a global revolution, believing socialism must spread internationally or be strangled in isolation. This vision put him at odds with another rising titan in the Soviet ranks, Joseph Stalin. While Stalin built his power quietly through bureaucracy, Trotsky was a firebrand, a theorist, a public intellectual, a commander of men, and that made him dangerous. When Lenin died in 1924, a power struggle ignited. Trotsky, brilliant but outspoken, found himself politically isolated. Stalin, calculating and ruthless, was consolidating control. By 1927, Trotsky was expelled from the Communist Party. In 1929, he was forced into exile. But he kept writing, speaking, and warning the world of Stalin's growing tyranny. From Turkey to France, Norway to Mexico, Trotsky carried his revolution with him in ink and fire. He published The Revolution Betrayed, denouncing Stalinism as a perversion of Marxism and predicting the collapse of the Soviet Union under its own weight. He founded the Fourth International, urging true socialists around the world to reject Stalin's brutal dictatorship and revive the spirit of the original revolution. To Stalin, Trotsky was no longer a rival. He was a threat to the myth, a living reminder that the revolution had been hijacked. And so, the decision was made. Trotsky had to die. In Spain, a young man named Ramón Mercader was recruited by the Soviet NKVD, Stalin's secret police. Charismatic, intelligent, and ideologically devout, Mercader was trained in espionage and assigned a singular mission: infiltrate Trotsky's circle, gain his trust, and kill him. Using the alias Jacques Monard, Mercader posed as the lover of a Trotskyist sympathizer. Through patience and manipulation, he gradually got close to Trotsky's household in Coyoacán, Mexico City. And then, on August 20th, 1940, Mercader made his move. Trotsky, now 60, still burned with revolutionary passion. Despite constant death threats, he refused to live in fear. On that fateful day, Mercader entered his study, carrying a file with an article Trotsky had asked to review. As Trotsky turned to read, Mercader pulled out an ice axe hidden in his coat and drove it into his skull. But Trotsky didn't die immediately. Bleeding, wounded, he screamed, fought, and even spit in his assassin's face. Guards rushed in and subdued Mercader. Trotsky was rushed to the hospital. He held on for almost 24 hours. And then the revolutionary spirit was extinguished. Stalin had his victory. Trotsky was gone. His name erased from Soviet textbooks, his image removed from official photos. But history has its own memory. In the West, Trotsky became a symbol of resistance, a martyr of socialism betrayed. His vision of international democracy, workers' control, and a world without Stalinist terror lived on. And as the Soviet Union eventually collapsed under the weight of its own contradictions, many turned back to Trotsky's writings and said, "He saw it coming. They killed his body, but not his words. They silenced his voice, but not his vision." Leon Trotsky's death was not just the end of a man. It was the final act in a war for the soul of the revolution, a war that still echoes in every struggle for freedom today. If this story moved you, subscribe to Chronicles of Legends, where we bring you the untold truths of history's most defiant minds. Drop a comment. Was Trotsky a visionary or a threat too dangerous to ignore? Until next time, Remember, history is not a line, it's a battlefield.